very good relationship. Because of me, they've raised about $40 billion over the last year. So I think the Secretary General likes Trump. He may be the only one, but that's okay with me.
We will discuss how we can make this summit a success, showing that Europe and North America are standing together, and we will continue to focus on defense spending because, as the President just said, NATO allies has to invest more in defense, and that's exactly what they are doing. So that will be the main topic, is to discuss how we can make further progress on burden sharing the alliance.
Over the last year, about $40 billion more has been given by other countries to help NATO, but that's not nearly enough. The United States is paying far too much, and other countries are not paying enough, especially some. So we're going to have a meeting on that, and the Secretary General has worked very hard on that. He understands the problem, and hopefully we can get a result. This has been going on for decades, and it's disproportionate and not fair to the taxpayers of the United States, and we're going to make it fair, so that'll be it. And I want to just compliment the Secretary General. He's worked very hard on this problem. He understands it better than anybody. Thank you very much. Thank you. It's very sad when Germany makes a massive oil and gas deal with Russia, where you're supposed to be guarding against Russia, and Germany goes out and pays billions and billions of dollars a year to Russia. So we're protecting Germany, we're protecting France, we're protecting all of these countries, and then numerous of the countries go out and make a pipeline deal with Russia, where they're paying billions of dollars into the coffers of Russia. So we're supposed to protect you against Russia, but they're paying billions of dollars to Russia, and I think that's very inappropriate. And the former Chancellor of Germany is the head of the pipeline company that's supplying the gas. Ultimately, Germany will have almost 70% of their country controlled by Russia with natural gas. So you tell me, is that appropriate? I mean, I've been complaining about this from the time I got in. It should have never been allowed to have happened. But Germany is totally controlled by Russia because they were getting from 60 to 70% of their energy from Russia and a new pipeline. And you tell me if that's appropriate, because I think it's not. And I think it's a very bad thing for NATO, and I don't think it should have happened. And I think we have to talk to Germany about it. On top of that, Germany is just paying a little bit over 1%, whereas the United States in actual numbers is paying 4.2% of a much larger GDP. So I think that's inappropriate also. You know, we're protecting Germany, we're protecting France, we're protecting everybody, and yet we're paying a lot of money to protect. Now, this has been going on for decades. This has been brought up by other presidents, but other presidents never did anything about it because I don't think they understood it or they just didn't want to get involved. But I have to bring it up because I think it's very unfair to our country, it's very unfair to our taxpayers. And I think that these countries have to step it up, not over a 10-year period, they have to step it up immediately. Germany is a rich country. They talk about they're going to increase it a tiny bit by 2030. Well, they could increase it immediately tomorrow and have no problem. I don't think it's fair to the United States. So we're going to have to do something because we're not going to put up with it. We can't put up with it, and it's inappropriate. So we have to talk about the billions and billions of dollars that's being paid to the country that we're supposed to be protecting you against. You know, everybody's talking about it all over the world. They'll say, well, wait a minute, we're supposed to be protecting you from Russia, but why are you paying billions of dollars to Russia for energy? Why are countries in NATO, namely Germany, having a large percentage of their energy needs paid to Russia and taken care of by Russia? Now, if you look at it, Germany is a captive of Russia because they got rid of their coal plants, they got rid of their nuclear. They're getting so much of the oil and gas from Russia. I think it's something that NATO has to look at. I think it's very inappropriate. You and I agree that it's inappropriate. I don't know what you can do about it now, but it certainly doesn't seem to make sense that they pay billions of dollars to Russia, and now we have to defend them against Russia.
You know, NATO is an alliance of 29 nations. and there are sometimes differences and different views and also some disagreements. And the gas pipeline from Russia to Germany is one issue where allies disagree. But the strength of NATO is that despite these differences, we have always been able to unite around our core task to protect and defend each other, because we understand that we are stronger together than apart. I think that 2 world wars and the Cold War taught us that we are stronger together than apart.
But how can you be together when a country is getting its energy from the person you want protection against or from the group that you want protection?
Because we understand that when we stand together, also when dealing with Russia, we are stronger. I think what we have seen is that...
No, you're just making Russia richer.
Well,
you're not dealing with Russia, you're making Russia richer.
So I think that even during the Cold War, NATO allies were trading with Russia. Then there have been disagreements about what kind of trade arrangements we should go into.
I think trade is wonderful. I think energy is a whole different story.
Good luck for the team tonight. I met the Croatian Prime Minister yesterday and we exchanged football shirts. Gareth Southgate and the boys have done a fantastic job and I'm sure that they're going to go on to do well, and I just wish them all the very best of luck tonight. Thank you.
Ich möchte als erstes mal Ihnen allen guten Tag wünschen. Ich freue mich auf den NATO-Gipfel und rechne allerdings auch mit kontroversen Diskussionen. Der Gipfel ist gut vorbereitet, aber in den Diskussionen werden wir sicherlich auch unterschiedliche Positionen haben. Deutschland verdankt der NATO sehr viel. Und dass die deutsche Einigung stattgefunden hat, dass Europa heute geeint ist, das hat auch sehr viel mit der NATO zu tun. Aber Deutschland leistet auch sehr viel für die NATO. Wir sind der zweitgrößte Truppensteller. Wir stellen den größten Teil unserer militärischen Fähigkeiten in den Dienst der NATO. Und wir sind bis heute sehr stark in Afghanistan engagiert. Und damit verteidigen wir auch die Interessen der Vereinigten Staaten von Amerika. Denn dieser Afghanistan-Einsatz hat mit dem einzigen Beispiel zu tun, wo der Artikel 5, der Beistandsartikel, auch in Anspruch genommen wurde. Und Deutschland tut dies sehr gerne und aus Überzeugung. Ich möchte aus gegebenem Anlass hinzufügen, dass ich erlebt habe, auch selber, dass ein Teil Deutschlands von der Sowjetunion kontrolliert wurde. Und ich bin sehr froh, dass wir heute in Freiheit vereint sind als die Bundesrepublik Deutschland und dass wir deshalb auch sagen können, dass wir unsere eigenständige Politik machen können und eigenständige Entscheidungen fällen können. Und das ist sehr gut, gerade für die Menschen in den neuen Bundesländern. Was die Verteidigungsausgaben anbelangt, so hat Deutschland als Bundesrepublik alt in Zeiten des Kalten Krieges sehr häufig über 2% in die Verteidigung gesteckt. Wir haben dann in der Tat sehr stark reduziert, wie viele andere auch, und sind heute bereit, nach den Beschlüssen von Wales unsere Verteidigungsausgaben zu steigern. Das tun wir Jahr für Jahr, auch für 2018, auch für 2019. Und wir werden 2024 80% mehr ausgeben für Verteidigung, als wir das 2014 getan haben. Wir fühlen uns also den Beschlüssen von Wales, uns in Richtung 2% zu entwickeln bei den Verteidigungsausgaben verpflichtet. Und vor allen Dingen wollen wir dann das, was wir mehr tun, auch in den Dienst der NATO stellen. Und insofern gehe ich sehr fröhlich und auch durchaus bewusst, dass wir ein wichtiger Teil der NATO sind, in diese Diskussion. Herzlichen Dank.
Merci beaucoup. Je suis très heureux de retrouver le président Donald Trump. Il y a presque un an maintenant, il était à Paris et il nous avait fait l'honneur d'assister justement à notre fête nationale avec sa délégation et nous n'avons pas cessé depuis d'échanger de manière régulière et nous allons poursuivre aujourd'hui sur évidemment les sujets commerciaux, l'OTAN comme il l'a dit, mais également la Syrie, les sujets géopolitiques sur lesquels nous avons beaucoup à faire ensemble. Merci beaucoup. Merci, Donald.
It sounded beautifully. I have no idea. It sounded great.
I have to say, I told them exactly the same, but in French for French journalists, and the fact that I just reminded everybody that almost 1 year ago you were present with your wife and in Paris for precisely Bastille Day.
Beautiful.
It was the 13th and 14th of July, and we've worked together for 12 months now.
Sure.
And took some great decisions, and
We've made some good
worked-
decisions.
and we'll continue to work together
That's right.
on the different issues.
So thank you very much. Thank you. We have a tremendous relationship. We're discussing trade, we're discussing NATO, we're discussing a lot of different things, and hopefully in the end it'll all work out.
Tschüss.